Doesn't look like a whole lot of immediate abilities for this guy. Or they're all just tied over here.
They seem to go around in a big spiral, as opposed to... maybe there are 2 spirals?
Flailing Days. Now that is the name of an ability.
Mm-hmm. They had more of those tiny
that's interesting.
turbines.
I think actually the reinforcements were from the shadow side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were enemies there in the living and the dead zones, but it looks like they...
Ah, this is one where you have to destroy the portal. Ooh, nice.
Well, that's got some AoE oomph to it.
I do like those combo attacks where you're back to back with the spirit and lashing in all directions.
Okay, so it's just giving me endless flowers.
Right.
Never mind.
Make sure you at least get some damage on that portal.
I might end up fighting kind of random things for a bit.
So you want to monopolize on the fact that you'll have an endless stream of enemies.
An endless stream of
grind.
relatively weak enemies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, I'm gonna get some damage
the
on
flowers
it.
aren't very threatening. They can do range attacks, but...
It's mainly the fact that they paralyze you, but they're not actually terribly dangerous from a... That is great for kicking groups' asses, though.
They probably wouldn't have one. I mean, they have that little bulb at the bottom where their legs part, but it's not necessarily a butt.
Plant poop. I do wish some of the...
If you think about it, plant poop is oxygen.
Pretty much. That always actually bothers me a little bit about humans, is just the idea of, like... I understand defecation is, like, you gotta get rid of the bad stuff, but it's just like...
Well,
How
actually,
else?
maybe it's not so much... I mean, what kind of waste do plants create other than oxygen?
Because it can't just be oxygen, right?
Oxygen isn't really...
They've got to get stuff through their roots that they don't need. Unless they just keep it there, and it just kind of becomes building block, even if it's not good.
Well, I think eventually just leaves drop off. You see, they have parts of their body that they just drop off.
I mean, so do we. Hair.
Yeah, we do. But the thing
Nails.
is, we replace all of our cells too, and then we also digest things that then have to... I don't know. It'd be interesting to look into, because... I mean, I don't know if plants release anything at the roots. Actually, some plants must, because if you do crop rotation, there are the ones that replenish soil nutrients, and then there are the ones that take soil nutrients. So,
Well, in a lot of cases, crop rotation, that's like actual crop, which, you know, have to be replanted year after year, as opposed to like a tree. You don't really do crop rotation with trees.
no, but what I'm saying, the premise behind why crop rotation is necessary is because there are some plants that take nutrients from the soil, like wheat and corn and whatnot, and there are others that actually replenish nitrates and things, and usually they're the root vegetables and things like potatoes and onions and whatnot. But it's interesting.
I guess I did get him a chains down.
If anything, maybe the whole photosynthesis bit is like them breathing. They take in the carbon dioxide and use it to... Well, they take the hydrogen off it in order to make complex sugars and such. And then the oxygen gets released. But does the sugar go directly into creating cell structures for them?
Interesting question.
I mean, we have to have proteins. Proteins, vitamins, heavy metals. Well, maybe not heavy metal, but metal. Because you have your iron.
Hold the button when attacking
Calcium.
during a chain jump to quickly move to the location your chain strikes. Huh. I'm just turbo ranking trays up.
Okay. Do you have a memory from him?
Not yet.
Okay. Magnoblast.
Yep, so now we got some other moves. Oh, well that didn't work.
No, not when they're on a row.
This'll work though. Yeah, it does some damage now.
I still think you prefer the marksman, don't you? Or the marks lady?
Yeah. The Marks lady and...
I don't know if there's a feminine version of marksman.
Markswoman.
Markswoman. Oh, no, that makes sense. Just have the woman.
The problem is he's slow. He's good at groups, but he's slow. Because, like, technically, grinding this guy up will be mad easy. Because if I wanted to, I could just go to...
Lobelia and Leora. What took you so long? Sorry, I was training up my
I was
demons.
grinding.
I was grinding up the minerals that you needed to make the fuel. Sorry, it took a long time.
But, like, if you notice, I am crushing through enemies so much faster with her. And I guess she is a higher rank, but it's just, like, her abilities take so much less time to pull off. Mm-hmm. You know, there's very little charge or anything like that. It's just like, bam, use the move. Okay, moving on.
Oh, moles. It's just such a shame that they created these interesting spirit characters and
They have nothing to do with the plot.
they're only loosely connected with aspects of the world and not with the plot, and then also they don't seem to converse with the main protagonist or even each other. If this was a BioWare game or something, they would have side conversations if you had them in your party or you entered a new area, and I don't know, it'd just be so much fun. I want to know more about them. Because aside from the Watchers, we haven't really met other warriors from... I mean, some of them seem to be royalty from different lands, and are they even from different times, too? It would be interesting if you had a conversation with them about times before the cult of this reincarnation existed, or... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you get what you needed? Oh, there's a teleportation point. Ah.
I was wondering about that. Yup.
Oh.
Come on!
Oh. Is it one of those things where you have to make sure you run out of it at the proper angle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I really dislike it when teleportation pads... sometimes they keep you in the direction that you're facing, other times they switch you around. So you think you're going to continue running forward, but then you end up just running back into the portal. I don't know. The chain guy just seems so slow.
Yep. Like, he's still alright, but it's like...
I would have actually liked to have seen more of the scythe lady.
Yeah, we can give her a go again. She just was also pretty slow. Next time we get a statue.
Because you can have 4 spirits, right?
Yep, I can have 4.
So you're probably going to keep the gunner and then Zov. Well, is it Amelia, Zov, and then...
Yeah, I've still
whomever
got
you
my
want for the
first
last
one.
2.
I don't know if I'll switch her out.
Oh, Aisha?
She's not terrible. Like the starting character is actually pretty good. Because she's one of the faster. Unfortunately, it's much easier for her to miss. Which is a bit of a nuisance.
Oh, another spirit's over here. But it looks like a watcher.
Yeah, chances are it's one of the bonus bosses. It's like, kill me! It's how they almost always have been so far. Is that you, Kakashi? Look at me! Lost! Can you give me a
Looked
hand?
like a lady, but oh well.
Ran into a... Oh, it is? Okay, go for it.
No, it's alright. You already started.
Okay. I honestly can't tell when they're wearing that full outfit. Ran into a daemon ages ago. Couldn't handle daemons back then. So, I asked them to join forces with me once I knew what I was doing. Ended up dying, but they give me something to aim for. So I want to talk before I cross. They were on the ground floor of Ahir Palace. Could be gone by now, though. Oh. It's just a...
You just heard their tale.
Yeah.
Whoa. All moles. I've never seen a mole in real life. What are peculiar looking are the... What was it? The star-nosed moles? Have you ever seen a star-nosed mole?
Maybe at a zoo?
Well, you know, they have all the little tendrils sticking off their nose.
Yep.
In a circle. Kind of weird. I suppose they're feelers. We did get to see naked mole rats at the Oregon Zoo for the first time.
They're gross little suckers.
I didn't expect them to be so small. I always imagined that naked mole rats were the size of guinea pigs, but apparently I was wrong. They're more like the size of... slightly larger than mice, but they're smaller than rats. But yes, they were gross looking. And they do have the weird hive colonies. I can't imagine being a creature that lives underground.
I mean, we're homebodies. It's not...
I suppose being in a house is like being underground if we never see the outdoors through our windows and such. We do keep them locked up tight for the most part because of the heat and also because of the fact that light isn't really conducive to working on screens or computers, but what I meant was having to dig through it.
Oh.
to be a creature that had to live underground and dig tunnels and such.
I mean, it would be cool to be able to dig like that to some degree.
Yeah, but...
Like, sure, obviously not the absolute kind of thing that I'd be interested in, but like, I don't know, grand scheme of things, being able to... I would say I'd prefer to be able to, like, tunnel freely. Followed by fly... Okay, there we go. Wow.
You'd rather be a tunneler than a flyer?
No. I'd like to be able to fly, then tunnel, then swim. Because the ocean is scary as shit.
Okay, well, also there's climbers. And so, squirrels, lemurs, tree-based creatures. And then you also have those with very swift legs on land. So you would have your antelope, your deer, your horses, your wolves, your cheetah. And among goats and sheep, you would have rock climbing abilities. Though, I don't know how they achieve it.
Let's see. Distraction. You know what game I'd like to play? World of Warcraft style RPG crossed with the mechanics of Dark Souls 3. Massive maps, enemies, exploration, combat. 2 modes, 1 RPG, 1 more roguelite. I mean, honestly, I would love to play a Souls-like made by, like, a Blizzard group with the more, like, fantastic visuals and story as opposed to just kind of dreary land.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could even be dreary.
I just love MMOs because of the customization and typically the lore that they put into the game when it comes to the races and the classes and the factions and the orders and the enemies and stuff. I think, unfortunately, World of Warcraft suffers from the old spell rotation list. I mean, WildStar had the style, and it had many of the same mechanics, but it had the action combat that you have in Guild Wars 2. Really love Guild Wars 2 and would like to get back to it. Because there's a lot of new story come out. At this point, Wander and I haven't experienced the last, 3 Living World seasons, or really the last expansion or 2. Like, we purchased them, and we played them. Well, at least the initial parts of them.
My problem in general with stuff like Guild Wars, or even most MMOs, is just the sheer time investment.
Mm-hmm.
To, like, make it worth it, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Let's see.
But you have to admit, it was fun when we were running around and everyone joined in.
Oh, absolutely.
It made it passing some of the quests a little difficult because then all of the things we were supposed to kill were gone, but...
I would gladly... Oh, wow. Okay. I would gladly play MMOs again with, like, a large group, maybe.
It just depends on the MMO. There are a number out there, but one thing that's always prohibitive are subscription-based ones. One that we could try would be Square Enix's Final Fantasy XIV. I figured I should mention Square Enix. Thank you.
Oh, that's already maxed
Oninaki.
out. Okay. Interesting.
Because I've heard a lot of people have been switching from WoW to Final Fantasy XIV.
I mean, that shouldn't be too big of a surprise.
I think one appeal that Final Fantasy has that's different than most other MMOs I've seen is that the one character can master several classes. You don't have to create a separate character for each class.
Yeah.
And while I like having alts, I tend to prefer alts when they have vastly different character races, whereas in Final Fantasy XIV, most of them are generic anime pretty human. Well, actually, they almost remind me of the way that they have Korean MMO characters. Very model-esque individuals. But, you know, there are the ones with cat ears and tails, and then there are the ones that are tall and elven, and there are the ones that are a little bit thicker and more orc-like, but they don't have tusks, so not precisely. The dragon people, oh, they have some scales on them, but they're not completely covered in scales, and they still have hair and humanoid features, but tails and horns. The Aura, I believe they're called. And then I think they recently added Viera as a female-only race, and then Hrothgar, kind of a cat-like one, but not cat girl or cat guy type. Actually more bestial.
Okay, now that I've done some preparations, not the good kind, but it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
But that's Mount Tiora. We're over here, the Decorate Mines. I wonder how many other zones we even have in this game.
But yeah, because of the similarities of the character models, I would just choose one character and then try to train up various classes for them. But I don't know. It really depends on how immersive the world is. Do you think MMOs are dying? Like a dying breed of game? I suppose I always wish that MMOs could technically be an extended multiplayer campaign.
Yeah, well, that's why I was so excited for Remnant from the Ashes, to a lesser degree. And to some degree, I still think Remnant from the Ashes is probably close to the kind of thing I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, though I wish they weren't all shooters. It seems like most modern MMOs that have been coming out have been shooters. And I would still prefer that there be a fantasy or a sci-fantasy in which you use melee weapons. I mean, I suppose melee weapons were an option, but they weren't encouraged. And I suppose they had a whole class in Remnant dedicated to them, but it was much easier just to shoot at things from a distance. Oh, so what are you gonna fight here?
I think we've already fought this guy.
Ooh.
Back in the battle demo. Yep, round 2 with this jerk.
Oh yeah, he has the laser shell. And then his head can become a probe, right?
Yep.
The Great Shield. Oh, there he goes.
What are you aiming, homeboy? It does not seem like it's worth it to lock
Charge
on
up
ever.
and lock on, yeah. Oh, what's that?
I think that's the
That's
ammo.
the ore. Yeah. But it looks awfully corrupted. As though it's something from the Shadow Realm. Or the Spirit Realm, I suppose I should say.
Yeah. I am unsure. Let's see, remember the ammo. Ooh,
Whoa,
I
laser.
got out of the way of that. Reminded of the MMO, Russian MMO, where you got to play with, like,
A Russian one?
yeah, they're bringing up Alods online.
Oh. is Maple Story? Since oh wait, the little probe thing.
Let's see. I've heard good things about Maple Story 2.
Is it too cutesy? I don't know. They came out with new classes and such.
I think my thing consistently with stuff like Maple Story is just that.
Well, I can understand if this aesthetic's off-putting. I don't know how the gameplay is or the quests, but I suppose I was really looking forward to EverQuest Next, and that never sailed. They had created so many assets for it too, and you even paid into Landmark initially.
Yep. I mean, it was like $20.
But they were trying to make a sandbox MMO where people would build their own housing and influence regions of the world by what they built or destroyed.
The idea...
But that would be complicated. I think, wasn't Arcage... That Arcage has more...
Yeah, the problem is Arcage
elements.
went very cash shop, so you had to spend like
so much
boatloads of money.
Just to keep your farm running. People couldn't do it. Yeah.
I mean, some people could. This boss still sucks.
I like it when MMOs put out new content, and if you feel inclined to, you can go back to it, but you don't need to. It's not as though there's a time limit or something, because I never like the ones where you have to get all the dailies, or you have to have upkeep just to ensure that you don't backtrack. So I suppose that's the problem. There's always the treadmill. And inevitably you have to catch up before every expansion, if there's a major one.
Like, I don't mind having to, like... I don't mind having to, like, play catch-up and, like, find all this stuff that I missed out on.
I mean, I can only imagine if we went back to Guild Wars 2, we would have several expansions worth of things that we could do. Even though we played the first one to death. Kaboom!
Well, it wasn't as hard this time around. Less on the infinite spinning assholes. Still hurt, though.
Your chains changed.
Wait, what?
The chains changed.
Yeah?
So you got a new equipped chain?
Yeah, I changed my equipped weapon.
That doesn't look dangerous, does it?
This is what the cannons need to work, right?
That's right. But they won't have to. I'll stop Kushi myself. Turns out they just sent us out on a fetch quest as a distraction.
Mm-hmm. That's it? He just handed them the fuel? No discussion? No... Oh, go on.
The cannons arrayed to battle Kushi only serve as a reminder of the realm's fragility. They stand motionless and waiting, but the silence of the city mocks them. Meanwhile, Lady Lobelia trembles in fear of Kushi's prophesied tragedy, yet Kushi is nowhere to be seen.
So, What exactly happened with Kushi?
I'm not sure. But the hatred inside him isn't his alone. He's being twisted by the darkness of the Night Devil. Kushi's tragedy will come, mark my words. Stop! Hey you! Do you still believe in the beyond? Do you still have faith in a country that encourages death? I do. I believe. I see. In that case, you won't mind.
Oh, he's just gonna go up and kill him.
Huh? The next world awaits, right?
The people are rebelling.
We're fed up with the lies. We won't place our faith in an uncertain afterlife. And we won't let the Sovereign have her way. We want guarantees, so we're taking the Ark. This is madness. Enough! Your soldiers are gonna get murdered out there.
Your people.
Oh, your people are gonna get murdered out there. Order your soldiers to withdraw now.
No. No. My kingdom.
The rioters are approaching the palace! Damn it. Was this your plan all along, Kushi? Or should I call you the Night Devil? Did you want to watch this realm tear itself apart? Why would a man like you do this?
If only I were stronger. If only I'd shown more kindness.
This isn't your fault. You are the only one who showed the Night Devil's kindness. If it never figured out how to play nice, that's not your fault.
Kagachi.
That being said, we can't just let it get away with this. I'm gonna stop this fighting, and then I'm gonna kill the Night Devil. I won't let it terrorize this realm ever again.
Oh, okay.